that most of our service couples really on a daily basis just want to get in sync with their spouse. They feel like they're living two parallel lives that rarely intersect. And so how do we kind of intersect these lives in a conversation, understand where each other is at, and feel like we're on the same page? That when we get in sync, when we're on the same page, we feel more connected, we feel more secure in our relationship, and then we do communicate better. So I created the 5-minute check-in, and it literally should take you 5 minutes. There's no way to be tested by your spouse, and you really can't get this wrong. It's simply four questions that you try to answer in 2 sentences or less. You don't have to repeat them back word for word, but you want to keep them 2 sentences or less just so that we keep it under 5 minutes. But you, as a spouse, let's say, will go through all 4 questions and then let your spouse take a turn. It's a great way to communicate, get in sync with each other, whether it's over coffee first thing in the morning, or whether you connect at the end of a long workday, or maybe over a quick phone call during a deployment or in between shifts, whatever your chaotic schedules look like. So here are the 4 questions. It's so simple, but they're all very important and they're all very intentional. Number 1, what am I physically feeling? This is where we pay attention to our 5 senses. What is your body feeling? Do you feel anxiety in your body? Because sometimes anxiousness really doesn't come from a lot of thoughts or maybe emotions. Sometimes it's just physical anxiety that you can't place where it's coming from. It's just there. Maybe you have back pain. Maybe you have toddlers that kept you up all night and you didn't sleep well and you're feeling groggy and irritable. And really it has nothing to do with other things outside of you. You just didn't sleep well, right? How many miscommunications happen over coffee first thing in the morning because we came downstairs groggy and a little irritable, and it had more to do with how we slept last night than anything else. This 5-minute check-in gives you the ability to have that quick conversation, clear up that miscommunication, be able to communicate quickly and directly so that your spouse knows exactly where you're at and exactly what you need. So number 1, what am I physically feeling? Number 2, what have my thoughts been lately? And this is where I give you full kind of creative control to decide, do you want to share what your thoughts are right now, what your thoughts have been today, what your thoughts have been this week, or generally during this season, what have you been thinking about lately? Whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, you're going to answer that question differently. But we tend to, as introverts, store up our thoughts, and as extroverts, we've got to process them out loud. So being able to state to your spouse, here's what's been on my mind lately, is really important. The key, though, is we want to keep it in 2 sentences or less. Number 3 is going to sound like number 2, but it's very different. Number 3 is, what are the emotions that I'm feeling? And now my emotions could be my emotions about the thoughts that I just expressed, and they could be something completely different. In fact, a lot of times we can share, this is what's been on my mind lately, and now when I get to my emotions, not only do I have emotions about what I've been thinking lately, but I also have some other emotions that are just randomly coming in from other things about other issues going on in my life. Now, a lot of couples struggle with this because we tend to merge those 2 together. In fact, most men tend to camp out in thoughts and share what their thoughts have been if they're really good communicators. And women tend to communicate their thoughts and their feelings through their emotions. And you can see why we're already miscommunicating. By separating these 2, we have the ability to communicate thoroughly. Those that are communicating more about their thoughts can then be expanded into, stretched into, how do I share my emotions, and vice versa. So if you need more examples or more feeling words to pull from, I highly recommend feelingswheel.com that you can print off and put on your fridge to go with the 5-minute check-in for that question number 3, what are my emotions? Now, the 4th question is really important, and it's one that we often miss and forget to do when we are communicating. The 4th question is, what do I need? Most of us don't even get to a place where we even ask ourselves what we need or even identify what we need. So by being able to ask ourselves this question, what do I actually need today or during this season, it gives us the ability to find our words and express to our spouse. And our needs might be something that only I can do for myself, but they may also be needs that maybe you can pull your spouse in to support you. For example, here's a great quick example of going through the 4 questions. I woke up up this morning and I'm feeling really groggy and irritable because the kids kept me up all night and I didn't sleep well. So it's not you, it's me. Number two, my thoughts lately have just been how overwhelmed I am with work. I've got all these to-do lists to get to, and I seem to never be able to get to them and finish any amount of them each day. I feel so disorganized. And emotionally, number three, emotionally, I feel overwhelmed. I feel consumed. I feel irritable. I feel scared that I can't ever catch up. And I'm starting to feel insecure because I'm never able to finish something or make progress on some of my goals. Pull from that feelingswheel.com. It'll really help you a lot on that one. But what I need, number four, is I think I just need like an hour or two to sit down and kind of flesh out my thoughts and work on my to-do list and organize when I'm going to be able to tackle these things. Or I might need like 30 minutes to an hour to actually tackle some of those to-do lists that are really, really urgent and important. So what I need for myself is I need to kind of give myself the extra time today or tomorrow to organize my day a little bit better. But what I could really use your help on is when you get home from work, do you think you could give me 30 minutes to an hour where you could take the kids and I can just sit down and knock out some of these urgent things? That would be so helpful if you could help me with that later today. 4 questions that help you get in sync with your spouse, communicate exactly what's going on in your internal world, and feel connected with your spouse. You take turns, and even better, if you can put the 5-minute check-in on your fridge where you can pull it down first thing in the morning when you're having coffee or at the end of that long day when your brain is fatigued. You won't even have to remember the 4 questions. You've got them right there in front of you and you can use them quickly. I've also seen couples work through some very hot topics and find connection while they're rebuilding trust or while they're working on some difficult seasons of their life by using the 5-minute check-in every day. It eliminates guesswork, it eliminates assumptions, and helps you get right back on track, right where you need to be, knowing exactly who you are, who they are, and what you need from each other. I hope you'll try it out, and I hope that it blesses your family. Please reach out and let me know what you think.